I don't think anybody ever looked at it from the point of view that it would be history in the making. They looked at it from the point of view of, well, we want girls playing football and we want them playing at the same level as the men are.
I wanted the girls to play. I really wanted them, because the one thing about them, they gave you 100% every time. But it was a pleasure to do it. I'm sorry that I'm too old to do it now.
I started going out with a young lady that I met in a graveyard at a funeral one day, and a car pulled up and she carrying a camogie stick. He said, well, we're putting a football team together. And he says, will you get me a couple of camogie players, and we're going training in Corrafin, we're going playing Offaly in a football match. The same lady is now my wife. And she said the guy that stopped was a man by the name of Patsy Conway. Then when Patsy saw that I was there and why I was there, you know, he sort of asked me, will you give me a hand with this? And he only passed away last year, but Patsy Conway was the man that was responsible for starting ladies football in Galway. And we went up to Tullamore to a meeting, a couple of other counties there as well. It was decided that they would form a national association and they would go to Thurles at the same place as the GA was formed in Thurles. It was decided at the time that they would have an All-Ireland Championship. There was 8 teams, I think, that was involved in the first All-Ireland Championship, and it was run as an open draw. And there were sort of matches arranged that day to have the following month. Contact was being built between the respective counties. We decided to set up a Galway County Board and, sort of bring a bit of structure to it. I was fortunate enough to be elected chairman. Patsy Conway was elected president. We were down to play Offaly. They had organised on the day, both teams would be paraded down through the main street of Kilcormac down to the pitch. There was a band parading the teams down, and there was a huge crowd. When we had our first ladies football convention in early 1975, we needed to put forward motions to change the rules of ladies football. There was no structure whatsoever to the rules. I was elected vice chairman, and Margaret Cullen and I then got very involved in push our new rules and new administration. She was really a driving force for Ladies Gaelic football, not alone in Galway, but in Ireland.
Margaret was brilliant. There's people out there who've sweated blood. I was chairman of Interfirm, and she was sitting there at the what-you-call, and she was a football fanatic. And she says, why don't you start Ladies Interfirm? The post office had a team. We got loads of teams. Even teams from Mayo who wanted to play, ladies who wanted to play. And we used to call it the county championship. I was in Ballinasloe another evening, this lady turned up in a bike with a hurl. And there was no one there to hurl with her. I said, can you play football? A little, come on. And she played for Galway for the next 3 or 4 years. We was having a chat at half time. And your man says, aren't you with the Galway women? I says, I am. Have you any players? Jeez, there's a great girl, he says, down in our parish. What's her name? Mary Mullery. How would I get in touch with her? Because no one had phones that time, remember. Oh, he said, go down and stand in the middle of Aircut and you'll find her driving a big tractor. That's a fact. And she got 2 All-Stars.
With regard to communication, you made arrangements on the previous, 3 or 4 days in advance, and that's what was going to happen. Landlines were few and far between, and I remember here there was a time when there was only five phones in the parish.
I refereed the 4 provincial finals. I refereed 3 senior finals. To referee in Croke Park was the greatest thrill of all. 88, Mary Jo did the quick turn on the goal on them. She was unreal. Mary Jo couldn't have popped them over all day. No one will match what Mick Fitzgerald had in Kerry. No one will match them. From the goalie to the corner forward.
We only had a handful of players that had the skills that nearly everybody has now. But we also had a lot of players that never kicked a football in their life, and you nearly had to teach them how to kick a football. And it's absolutely mind-boggling in a sense, like when you think back of where we started from and see the way the attendances have gone, you see the number of girls that are playing, the standard of the competition, the standard of play. It's mind-blowing from where we started. Father Griffin's brought a motion to Galway Football Board that the GA would recognise Ladies Gaelic football. And it was probably the first motion that sort of ever came from anywhere. Chairman of the county board, the first time that this was mooted by Father Griffins, and he made a comment, never having seen Gaelic football, well, I think ladies could play a better role on the social side of the GA and not to be playing football, which was typical of the attitude of indeed a lot of people at the time. He became a huge supporter of ladies football, or a huge admirer of ladies football at any rate when he saw it being played. This year Galway County Board elected me as President of the County Board to mark the 50th year, and I gratefully accepted it, and you know, I'm honoured to have the position, but I just happened to be the person that was there at the time.
There were some great memories. I'll die with them. Do you know what I mean? You can't forget them. It'll take me years to tell you the rest. It'll go from strength to strength if the right people are there.